who is in charge? Because I've been saying it for a while.
Yes, you have.
I've been saying it.
Whoopi Goldberg's, like, did you see what she did to that Staten Island bakery?
Yeah.
No.
Crazy.
This is the guy that she's saying doesn't know anything about the military. Does he look like he doesn't know anything about the military to you?
Repeated pushing of hoaxes. You're like, wait a second, like, come on, man, this is too far.
Guy who's qualified to make decisions about the most powerful military in the world, who clearly does not know anything about the military.
It was a storm that had been brewing for years, and nobody seemed to notice it until it was too late. Whoopi Goldberg, one of the most influential figures in the media world, had spent decades making waves on her talk show, The View. But what began as lighthearted commentary on celebrity gossip and politics slowly transformed into a series of reckless accusations and wild claims that would eventually come back to haunt her in the most unexpected way. In the early days, Whoopi's presence on The View was unmatched. Her humor, charisma, and candidness made her a household name, and her show became a go-to for anyone wanting a mix of entertainment and sharp opinions on current events. But over time, something changed. The lines between entertainment and reality began to blur, and Whoopi started using her platform for far more than just casual banter. The once humorous exchanges became more pointed, and the accusations she made grew darker. She was throwing around names like confetti, seemingly without consequence. Elon Musk, the Trumps, and countless other public figures became her target as she used her position to sling baseless accusations, confident that her celebrity status would shield her from any real repercussions. But as the saying goes, what goes up must come down. Whoopi's carefree approach to defamation was about to meet a very harsh reality. The first signs that things were about to unravel began when Elon Musk, who had been on the receiving end of several attacks by...
This woman literally had to do no research, came out here and is just exposing
Their boiler went down, and she placed an order of cupcakes for her birthday. And
Hold on. I can't imagine
idiocy for what it is. And she said he clearly knows nothing about the military. She clearly hasn't done a lick of research
yet how this would go bad. Okay, go ahead.
So she places this order. They say we can't.
Whoopi decided that he'd had enough. Musk wasn't the type to let things slide, and when he saw his name being dragged through the mud, he pushed back with the full force of his legal team. This wasn't just a personal spat. It was a professional challenge, one that Whoopi hadn't fully grasped until it was too late. Musk wasn't a regular celebrity. He was a billionaire with resources that could put any legal challenge to rest. But the lawsuits didn't stop with Musk. As the days passed, the list of people Whoopi had offended grew longer. In what seemed like a series of shocking turns, the Trump family, led by the ever-controversial Donald Trump, prepared to enter the legal fray. Whoopi had not only attacked Donald Trump, but she had also accused the entire Trump family of being involved in a complex web of conspiracy theories, manipulation, and criminal activity. Now, if there was one thing Trump knew how to do, it was to fight back, especially when he felt wronged. The Trump family wasn't about to let a public figure like Whoopi Goldberg continue to smear their name without facing consequences. They were prepared to take legal action, and that's exactly what they did. Whoopi, known for her strong opinions, was about to learn a valuable lesson. If you take a swing at Donald Trump, be prepared to be hit back twice as hard. This legal battle wasn't just about Whoopi crossing paths with powerful figures in the world. It was about something much bigger, power itself. Trump, who had once appeared on The View as a guest, was now a figure Whoopi would rather not contend with. There was a time when Whoopi and Trump had shared hugs and laughs on the set of The View. Clips from those days showed a much different relationship, one where Trump was even welcomed with open arms. Yet, things had changed. The animosity between them had grown to the point where Whoopi's reckless words were now facing the full wrath of the Trump legal machine. But the Trump family wasn't the only one ready to take action. Another unlikely opponent entered the scene, country music sensation Carrie Underwood. It seemed absurd at first. Carrie Underwood, one of the most beloved country stars, in a legal battle with Whoopi Goldberg.
Man has a bachelor's from Princeton, a master's from Harvard, 2 bronze stars. Here's what qualifies you for a bronze star. The individual must demonstrate
promise you that we can do this because our boiler is down, so we can't fulfill this order. And so then the next day,
Demonstrate heroic or meritorious achievement or service while serving in a combat theater. The man was a major in the...
hey, the boiler's back up. She has someone else call the same bakery, and they get the order in because now the boiler's up.
Yet, it all began when Whoopi made unsubstantiated claims about Carrie, insinuating that she had been involved in some sort of behind-the-scenes corruption in the entertainment industry. Specifically, Whoopi suggested that Underwood had pulled strings to influence the outcomes of major award shows. Carrie, known for her powerful voice both on and off stage, wasn't about to let this slide. She had worked tirelessly to build a clean and reputable brand, and Whoopi's insinuations were nothing short of damaging. Carrie's team launched an aggressive legal campaign, seeking millions in damages for the harm caused by Whoopi's baseless remarks. The stakes were high. This wasn't just about music or television, it was about reputations and livelihoods. And Carrie wasn't about to let Whoopi tarnish hers. The lawsuits kept piling up. Whoopi had crossed so many lines, and it seemed as though no one was immune from her barbed commentary. But just when it seemed like the pressure on The View couldn't get any worse, a new opponent entered the ring, Joe Rogan. If there was one person Whoopi didn't want to go head-to-head with in the current media climate, it was Rogan. His influence had skyrocketed thanks to his wildly popular podcast, and his unapologetic approach to speaking his mind made him a force to be reckoned with. The controversy between Whoopi and Rogan began when Whoopi made a series of public comments attacking Rogan and his podcast. She called him irresponsible and dangerous, pointing out that his podcast spread misinformation. It was a typical Whoopi rant, but this time, Rogan wasn't having it. He fired back, calling Whoopi out for spreading lies and hypocrisy. Rogan, true to form, didn't just argue, he took action. He launched his own legal challenge, accusing Whoopi of defamation and false statements aimed at destroying his reputation. Rogan wasn't just any podcaster, he was a savvy businessman with legal resources at his disposal. The fight that followed quickly spiraled into a media circus, with Rogan's team using every legal tactic available to expose Whoopi's recklessness. It became clear that Whoopi was out of her depth. She was fighting a battle with someone who had the resources, influence, and legal expertise to fight back, and Rogan's counterattack was swift and brutal. As the lawsuits continued to stack up and the
Because I've been saying it for a while.
Yes, you have.
I've been saying that I think Elon Musk believes.
This woman literally had to do no research, came out here and is just exposing the
media frenzy escalated. The View found itself at the center of a storm. The legal costs were astronomical, and the network began to feel the pressure. Advertisers started pulling their support as public backlash mounted. The show had once been a beacon of celebrity talk, but now it had become a symbol of unchecked privilege and reckless accusations. The very thing that had made The View so popular, the fearless opinions of its hosts, had now become its undoing. One by one, the sponsors began to pull out, unwilling to be associated with the growing scandal. The ratings, once strong, began to drop, and the network couldn't ignore the financial ramifications. The viewership that had once clung to every word spoken by Whoopi and her co-hosts now found themselves turning away, disillusioned by the toxic atmosphere that had taken over the show. The mounting legal bills, the loss of advertisers, and the growing negative media attention all pointed in one direction. The View was in trouble. In the end, it wasn't just Whoopi who faced the fallout. The entire team, from her co-host to the producers, found themselves caught in the crossfire. The lawsuits, the public backlash, and the mounting pressure were simply too much to overcome. The network had no choice but to pull the plug, and The View was officially canceled. The show that had once been a staple of daytime television was no more. The cancellation was swift, but the consequences of Whoopi's actions would continue to be felt for a long time. The defamation lawsuits weren't just about money, they were about holding public figures accountable for their words. In a world where celebrities often operate with impunity, the collapse of The View served as a harsh reminder that words have consequences and nobody, no matter how famous, is immune from facing the repercussions of their actions. And as Whoopi Goldberg and her team walked away from the wreckage of what was once a powerful media empire, it was clear that the price of unchecked celebrity privilege had finally come due. The legal battles weren't just about winning in court. They were a warning to everyone who thought they could wield their power and influence without facing the consequences. Whoopi Goldberg had learned the hard way that when you throw wild accusations, you better be prepared for the fallout.